The wheel of justice may grind slowly, but it will surely get to its destination of undiluted justice. But while you wait for justice, have you imagined how that long-drawn case can be settled out of court? Yes, we mean rebuilding a culture of amicable settlement of disputes through alternative dispute resolution. Settle with Laughter is a program tailored to educate, inform, sensitize, and promote access to justice through alternative dispute resolution anchored on mediation, consensus building, restorative justice, negotiation, and arbitration. Join an alternative dispute resolution expert, Barrister Ben Odoh, on Settle with Laughter on Soul TV, Abakaliki. Settle Dispute Television is an initiative of Negotiation Powerhouse Company Limited.
We're glad to have you here again on this beautiful program, Yours, Mine, Ours, that keep us every Saturday, and it is all targeted to make life better for us. This is Settle with Laughter on Salt Television. My name is Chika Igwe. Again, in the studio, I have this, my wonderful friend. Together, we have been partnering, we've been progressing, we've been making things better. That's what I believe from your comments. I have with me here the PA Technical to the Deputy Governor of Ebonyi State, Barrister Ben Odoh Uruchi. Sir, we're glad to have you here.
Glad to.
All right. It is another wonderful edition of the program, and we are continuing with mediation. Today, the coast will move up a little. I'm not going to be having him alone because we'll be joining our colleague, our friend, all the way from Port Harcourt today. She'll be joining us live today on the program. Of course, that's going to be an online stuff. However, you too have the opportunity to be with us here. Follow us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/settlewithlaughter. Twitter on Settle with Laughter. The little difference is that on Twitter it is Settle with LAFTA, not the normal English laughter. Use the African laughter if you ask me. But on Instagram it is still Settle with Laughter. On YouTube, Settle with Laughter. Let's keep laughing and let's keep making the world better. You can make your calls when the phone lines will be open, and that's when you're going to call us on 0803 5699063, and then text messages only to 0803 509 7383. It is Settle with Laughter, and I want to appreciate all our friends, all our fans for all they have been doing for us. Your encouragement has made things very, very wonderful for us, and that's because the much you've been able to do, the much you've been able to encourage us on Facebook has made things worthwhile. It's actually giving us the impression that, yes, force is actually moving distance, and so work is done. Let me have some comments from some of our friends, some of you, our friends out there who actually gave us things to look at. I have this one from Engineer Israel Godson from Port Harcourt. Israel, you said, great work you are doing here, sirs. Thank you so much for that. Pastor Rumi from Abakaliki said, great grace, sirs. This is actually sounding like a pastor. Okay, and Dr. Onyechi Merewankwo, also from Abakaliki, said, great and inspiring program. I think I like that too. Mr. Ifeanyi Nwofoke from Abakaliki, he says, it's a must watch. I thank God that it's a must watch. Okay, and then Mr. Chima Rock Hills from Abakaliki said, looking forward to seeing the Settle with Laughter mantra when it will take its full course in the lives of everybody under the entire populace in Ebonyi State and Nigeria at large. More grace to your elbows, Chika and Ben. My brother, put grease to your elbow. They say you put more grease there. And it's got Dr. Ken Ozo Eze from Nigeria Police Academy, Kano. Wow. He said, fantastic postures of ADR experts. God will diversify this program, surely. That's our prayer. That's our prayer, Dr. Ken. That's our prayer. And then, Okemini Chidubem Michael from Abakaliki said, good people. Am I good?
Very well.
All right. I have another one from Mr. Nwaba Emmanuel from Abakaliki, and he said, wow, what an interesting program indeed. It takes men of proven integrity to organize this kind of program. More grace, Barrister Ben and Chika.
Thank you.
To God be the glory. They say I'm a man of integrity. That makes this job better. Proven integrity, not just integrity. Yeah. All right, he said, Dr. Monday Osaze Bamide. I'm very sorry if I got this name wrongly pronounced. Please, he said, Monday Osaze Bamide Elibo from Feta 2 Abakaliki. I love this program. It's a great innovation. To God be the glory. Mr. Emmanuel Ede from Abakaliki also, he said, I think that this program is good for we the people of Ebonyi State. Okay, if you say so, but I know we had Ebonyi State in mind, but we have Nigeria and the whole world in mind in the carving out of the program. So if you think Ebonyi should use it, we lose nothing. But I know our intention is to make it the world over. Fine, Mr. Christian Wong from Abakaliki said, I am very happy to find humble mentors like you, sirs. I'm somebody's mentor now. Please, I appreciate you so much. Mr. Chinedu Ogiji from Iko. Yes, your program have saved my broken life and home. Keep it up. Already.
That's a good testimony.
To God be the glory. That's a wonderful testimony. I think that one is touching me more. He said, Mr. Elton John Okpata from Abakaliki, the days are too short even for love. So tell me, how can there be enough time for quarreling? Monday is a simple question. There's too short. The Bible will say 70 and then 80 for the strong. It's too short a time to even love, make laugh. Why do we need to quarrel again? Mr. Elton John, I think I'm happy. He continued, he said, you must go settle with laughter at Barrister Ben Odoh Uruchi and Mr. Chika Igwe's instance. They have got the elixir for dispute and conflicts of all types. I'm going higher every day.
Very well.
Okay, Mr. Edda Kelechi Israel from Abakaliki is a more grace, sirs. Okay, also talking like another man of God. And now, there's a question today for you to answer. And I don't want to take off from there.
Okay.
Okay? Yes, we're going to take off from there because I intend that you throw a little light on what you told us last Saturday that mediation is. Who a mediator is? This time around, just a recap, okay? A mediator, what is mediation, who is a mediator, and of course the hallmarks, before we get down to the real business of the day. And by the time you do that, you try to answer this question. This one came from Barrister Agadinuno from Washington, D.C., USA. He said, when will mediation be inappropriate? I think this question will be answered today, this morning. This one coming from Barrister Agadinuno all the way from USA reminds me that I got a call from Dr. Nwankwo from London Tuesday night. He said, I just finished watching you guys now. I think I like that. Kudos to you guys. Okay, so I think it's actually moving on. And this one is coming from USA again.
So we're already in London.
We're already in London. We're already in USA. That's to tell you, actually, it is the world over. It is not just for EBBC. It is not just for Ebonyi alone. So quickly, do we need we do not need to take more of our time here. I want to ask you that please you throw a little light again on what you said mediation is, who a mediator is, and the hallmarks of mediation, so that we'll now get to answer when it is inappropriate and move into more things that we have today.
Thank you, Mr. Chika. Thank you, viewers. Sorry, I have a cracked voice. The sadistic heat of Qatar took away my strength. You see, last week we tried explaining the concept of mediation, and then we started it from negotiation. We said negotiation is a direct communication or discussion between two or more disputants with a view of reaching an agreement and resolving their differences. Now, when parties in a dispute come together to have communication or discussion with a view of resolving their differences, we call it negotiation. When they are unable to reach an agreement in resolving their disputes, it means the negotiation ends in a deadlock. Now, it will be incumbent on them to seek an intervention of a third neutral party to assist them resolve their differences. The invitation of that third neutral party, the intervention of that third neutral party is called mediation. So the third neutral party is the mediator. So if you ask me to, in a sentence, define mediation, I will tell you that mediation is an assisted negotiation. The mediator is invited to assist the disputants in the process they commenced, which is negotiation. Or we can say that mediation is an advanced negotiation or an extension of negotiation. It's still the same process. Like I have issue with you, and then we try resolving these issues ourselves. The process of trying to resolve these issues is negotiation. And when I'm unable to resolve it amicably with you, I will now seek the intervention of Dr. Tu to say, come and assist us in resolving this. And he accepts to come. That is mediation, because we have extended the process to a third party to be part of the process. So it's still the same negotiation, but it's an extended level of negotiation that we refer to as mediation, where a third party comes. A third party can either come by the request of the parties or by non-request of the parties. I'll give you an example, sir. There's what we call commercial mediation and non-commercial mediation. Now, if it has to do with commercial mediation, the parties themselves must invite an intervention of a third neutral party called a mediator. I'm into business relationship with you, contractual relationship with you, and we are not able to resolve our differences through negotiation. Now, it is our duty to seek an intervention of a third neutral party to come and assist us. Now, but if it is not a commercial mediation, a third neutral party may not be invited. He can volunteer to assist. But if it's commercial, the parties must invite, not the mediator volunteering. Now, example of non-commercial mediation is, I am a pastor, and I have two of my members quarreling or fighting in the church, maybe a husband and wife. I don't need to wait for them to officially invite me as a mediator before I come to help them resolve their differences. It's a non-commercial mediation. Okay. So that pastor who comes to intervene in resolving the dispute between his members, his faithfuls, the husband and the wife, is a mediator, but not invited by the parties, but has volunteered to help them in resolving their differences. But if it has to do with commercial business, commercial mediation, the parties must seek for the intervention of a third neutral party because he will be remunerated. He must be paid his fee. Yeah,
that was the question I wanted to ask. Then, in such cases, then money must exchange hands.
Very well. So parties must agree on inviting a mediator, and the mediator must be paid. So that is why it has to do with it has this two-way traffic. Commercial mediation, parties, the interventionist, which is the mediator, must be invited. Non-commercial mediation, the mediator need not to be invited. A person can volunteer to be a mediator. Now, the hallmark of mediation is that for you to have effective mediation, definitely there must be neutrality.
Yeah.
Like I said, there must be neutrality. Now, the business of mediation has to do with the interventionist, which is the mediator, showing the level, showing that he's neutral, and showing and giving. You must not create room that will give reasonable, justifiable doubt as to likelihood of bias. So you must clear that. Now, how do you establish neutrality and impartiality? As a mediator invited by the disputants, when you come in, it is your duty to make an open statement or open confession. The open statement has 4 basic characteristics. Number 1, the open statement has to do with your introduction. You must introduce yourself to the parties. For example, my name is Ben Odoh. I am your mediator. 2, you must establish your impartiality and credentials. My duty here this morning is to assist you resolve your differences. I am a trained mediator from Chartered Institute of Mediators, UK. I will do everything possible to make sure that I am not biased, to make sure that with my skills and training, I will help you reach agreement yourselves and not by me. My own is to encourage you and guide you. Now, you have introduced yourself, you have established your impartiality and your credentials. Now, the third one is your duty. You establish your duty, you state your duty today as your mediator is 1, to be an opener of communication, to help you communicate effectively. I'm a legitimizer, I'm an educator, I'm a trainer. I will do this for you, I will do that. State your duties, because that is why they have invited your intervention. And finally, state the ground rules that will guide the parties in the conduct of the proceeding. In this mediation, we are going to time ourselves. Or if party A is saying something and party B is not agreeing with that, please, party B, hold your peace until party A says. Nobody should interject one another. You must ask questions. Make sure you raise your hand. Don't interject one another. Anything that is not okay by you that you may forget, put it in a piece of paper. We will accept it. Later on, we are going to have joint meeting. We are going to have caucusing. We are going to have state the ground rules. What are you doing? You are doing 2 things. You are showcasing your level of neutrality in the matter, and then you're establishing your impartiality. Now, confidentiality is another hallmark. Now, in mediation, the concept of confidentiality has to do with 2 things. It has to do with privacy, okay, and then it must be private. I know what I'm saying. Okay. And then when we talk about confidentiality, it has to do with privacy. The privacy of the disputants must be protected. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. So it must be protected. So when we talk about confidentiality here, the parties, the privacy, and then the keeping of the secrets of the parties. It is the duty of the mediator, no matter what, not to reveal what each of the disputants have confided in him to either of the parties. If he must do so, he must do that with the inherent consent and permission of either of the parties. Unlike in litigation there is no confidentiality. The court judgment is a public document. It's a public document. You can walk into the court, you can do anything, but in mediation, if you are not part of the mediation, you can't enter into the mediation room. Even sometimes when you are not part, but you want to be part of it, parties must give their consent. There are people who call the Magnesia's friends. The Magnesia's friends are not really part of the mediation, but they are allowed to come into the mediation because they are the group of persons that the court permits to give advice quietly or privately to disputants who don't have representatives. Assuming that we have mediation here, and party A has a lawyer representing him, and party B don't have a lawyer. Are you know what I'm saying? Or maybe party A, it has to do with financial misappropriation. Party A has a chartered accountant representing him, and party B don't have. This Magnesia Friends comes in to say, okay, because party B don't have a representative, we can give party B advice quietly so that he will not, betray himself. Let me use that word.
Yeah.
So confidentiality is another hallmark. Now, the parties own the solution. Another part of the ownership of the solution. That's to say, parties have control of the outcome. They may, to a large extent, have control of the process, but absolutely they have control of the outcome. That's to say, the mediator have control of the process that mediation should go. He gets the venue, he fixes the time and the dates, says the ground rules, but cannot make decision. He has no decision-making authority. The mediator don't have a decision-making authority. So it is parties that themselves
that will decide,
that have that final decision-making authority to agree to what should happen. Your duty as a mediator is to encourage them to reach agreement, not you reaching agreement for them. So these are the hallmarks of mediation. Now back to the question from Barrister Cordelier from USA. You say, when will mediation be inappropriate? Now, it's not, there are sometimes that mediation may not be the in thing, may be inappropriate. Number one, when it has to do with, the subject matter has to border on question of law or interpretation of statutes. A mediator cannot interpret a statute, cannot interpret a law or answer questions pertaining to point of law or issues of law. It is only a judge, a court with competent jurisdiction that can interpret statutes or can rule on questions bordering on law, point of law or issue of law. So when a dispute has to border on point of law or issues of law or interpretation of statutes, mediation will become inappropriate. It is the court. Another one is when either of the parties need to obtain an injunctive order, especially when it has to do with a case of an absconding defendant. A mediator cannot issue an injunctive order or prohibitive order. It is the court that you go to get such order. Especially when you have an absconding defendant. Somebody is owing you chika, and you were told that the person is about running away with their money, relocating. I don't know whether you are getting what I'm saying. And then the person may not want to come back again. And you want to invite him to attend mediation proceeding with you. The person will see that you are wasting your time. What will you do? To avoid that person absconding, running away with their money, you rush to court. Mediation will be inappropriate here. To get an injunctive order, restraining the person from running away. Now, when it has to do with fraud, when the conflict has to do with fraud, or it has to do with the subject matter is such that has to do with character assassination, or has to do with grievous, injurious libel or slander, you need a court. You don't even, because the mediator the mediator in such case cannot rule on such issue. Issue of fraud is a criminal matter. So mediation will be inappropriate. You rush to court. Somebody is assassinating your character, and you need to defend yourself. Some cases, mediation will be inappropriate because of that assassination of character or injurious or libelous, injurious slander or harmful libel. So you can go to court.
But somewhere along the line, you said it is inappropriate here because, cases of libel, cases of character assassination, and cases of fraud.
I said injurious.
Injurious, okay. Now, supposing the truth of the matter is, I am the one assassinating your character. I'm the one getting all these against you. Okay, if we go to court, remember what we're talking about. If we go to court, yes, litigation will come in. You may, at the end of the day, the judges, the lawyers will know how to move around it until justice is done. But if you now get your justice, it doesn't change the fact that in the court, they will award you whatever you have gotten, but outside, the character have destroyed it is still there. So what stops, or what makes mediation inappropriate here? Because I know we can still come back. Okay, I am sorry, I actually destroyed you. I actually did this, I actually did that. I am sorry about it. It's not going to go on again. If somebody is if we are applying both negotiation and mediation and decide not to go to court, can't it work?
That's why I told you that it's not in every case.
Okay.
So when you feel that it is so injurious to you and you have an integrity to protect, sometimes people purposely do that to tarnish your political image.
Yeah, sure.
And you just want to show a point that, okay, the court have cleared me. Because if someone now comes to say, I'll give you an example. If you have been found guilty of any crime, of any let's just say fraud. Let me just use fraud. Somebody have said you're a fraudster, you did this to tarnish your image. You remember, once you are convicted over this kind of a thing, under section 254 of the CAMA, you cannot be a director again in life. And then again too, politically, you cannot contest for any position if you're a convict. I don't know whether you agree what I'm saying. Now, some people purposely do that to clear their names. Okay. Because somebody may purposely, that's why I said injurious, may purposely have to do that to assassinate your character, especially when the person is aware of what you are pursuing. You know, in this kind of a thing, the mediator may not clear you of tainted image that is hung on your neck by your opponent. So what do? You get the court to clear you. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. You get the court to clear you. You know, people can be mischievous. You may want to come out tomorrow. Somebody will just come out with fictitious stories about you that never existed. And the person now comes to say, I'm sorry, and is already in public, and people are already petitioning against you. What do? This is injurious to your career. This is injurious to your person. You go to court to clear you. That's why I said most of the times. But if it's not too injurious, mediation will be appropriate. Mediation may not be appropriate. I use the word may.
All right.
And I told you in ab initio that, you know, for you to make a headway in this process, you must be possessed by the concept of schizoid compromise. You must be ready to compromise. So mediation, ADR process, in its generality, in its entirety, has to do with compromise. You must be ready to compromise. And then another area where mediation will be inappropriate is when you want to also quash frivolous claim. You need mediation. Mediation may not be appropriate because a mediator who don't have decision-making authority may not quash a frivolous claim, frivolous or vexatious claim. Now, when you want to set precedent, you don't need mediation will be inappropriate. It is only in litigation that precedents are set. We call it judicial precedent or stare decisis. So when you want to set precedent, mediation will be inappropriate. It's litigation. So, but if you are ready to sacrifice any precedent on the altar of peace, the mediation will be appropriate.
All right, thank you so much. It's been a very wonderful time. And just joined us. This is Settle with Laughter on Salt Television. We'll be going on a little break. When I come back, this business will continue, and that's exactly when I'll be joining our colleague that will be calling us in from Port Harcourt, River State, talking about Barrister Mrs. Florence Febrisima, the Director, Citizens Mediation Center, Port Harcourt, River State. We'll be chatting with her, and that's exactly when we'll move more into the business of the day. It's been Chika, Igwe, and Ben. This wonderful friend of mine, and he's really he's moving on.
Very well.
The friendship is getting to another level. He's getting to the permanent site. All right, we'll be right back. Please stay with us.
The wheel of justice may grind slowly, but it will surely get to its destination of undiluted justice. But while you wait for justice, have you imagined how that long-drawn case can be settled out of court? Yes, we mean rebuilding a culture of amicable settlement of disputes through alternative dispute resolution. Settle with Laughter is a program tailored to educate, inform, sensitize, and promote access to justice through alternative dispute resolution anchored on mediation, consensus building, restorative justice, negotiation, and arbitration. Join an alternative dispute resolution expert, Barrister Ben Odoh, on Settle with Laughter on Soul TV, Abakaliki. Settle Dispute Television is an initiative of Negotiation Powerhouse Company Limited.
Indeed, Nigeria is a home for all.
All right, we're glad to know you are still there. It is still Settle with Laughter on Salt Television, and this is exactly where the lines will be open for you to maybe make your contributions, drop your comment, or ask questions if in any case. And I've been with my friend Barrister Ben Odoh, the PA Technical to the Deputy Governor of Ebonyi State. Of course,